Hello and welcome to Froggy Frog Crochet. So in this video, I wanted to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look and take you through my yarn stash. So I'm on a mission to try and use up all the yarn I've collected over the years, which is a massive amount. But to do that, one, I needed to organize it, and two, I needed to update my business space because the pictures you're seeing are what I started with. And it's rather embarrassing that my yarn and business corner got to this state, but it's time for a makeover. So in that big 5-drawer cabinet is some of my yarn, but I wanted to get it all out, get it all organized so I knew what I had and I could plan my projects and get all this stuff used up. So let's go take a look at what I ended up with and what the yarn I'm going to be using for future projects. So this is my sheepies and a little bit of anchor drawer. The majority of it is sheepies. So I've got a lot of leftover soft fun. So this is what I use for the Ray of Hope crochet along. I've got some sheepies linen soft. That I bought from a yarn clearance from an independent shop that was going out of business, and actually quite a bit of my collection came from that clearance, including, which one's this? The sheepies stonewashed. There's a bit more under there. River washed as well. There's just all sorts. Got the sun-kissed. Got Katona denim. There's regular Katona under there as well. Some of this is in a bag because it was a project that I started a few years back. I want to go back to that one day. And what's that one? Sheepies Our Tribe. I think I've got 2 or 3 balls of that in 2 different colours. That came from the shop clearance. The Cotton 8 came from a shop clearance. Whee. The downtown, though, that came from Yarndale. I went there a couple of years ago. My little boy saw this and asked me to make some socks for him out of that. I've never actually found a sock pattern that would suit, and he forgot all about it. So they're still there waiting for that. Then I've got this Anchor Fino over here. I've got several colours of that. Not a clue what I'm going to do with it at the minute. That's been in there for years. I think I had something in mind for it when I first got it, but I'm not a clue anymore. But yeah, there's a lot of soft fun under there. Left over from the Ray of Hope. There's a lot of different projects that need to come out of this one drawer. But yeah, the problem is I've got like the same brand of yarn, but in several different colours. What to do with it? Oh, that's a problem to solve another day. So that's drawer 1. So drawer 2, we've got Karen Simply Soft. A lot of this is left over from the Country Garden crochet along, which I made a blanket out of that. And then I've got James C. Brett Marble. So I've got this lovely kind of beach inspired colour, and then this one with all the greys. This I brought many moons ago because I wanted to make myself a shrug, and I couldn't decide on a stitch. And instead I tried several different kinds, still wasn't happy, and it all got wound back into balls and shoved into a corner. So there's plenty enough there for me to make a project with. I'm just going to decide what that is. And then this, I made a set, a hat, scarf, and fingerless glove sets with that. And that's what I've got left over. So I can make another set with what I've got there. Because that set took 3 balls. I've got 3 balls left, so plenty for a project on its own. So they're fine. That's 2 projects right there. The Simply Soft, I've got loads of it. In all different colours. Now I did buy extras because I was going to make another crochet along in this. I'll show you a bit more when we get to the whip box. So I did buy some more colours, especially in the lilac greens, and there's white in there, or off-white in there somewhere too. There it is. There's more in there.
So I was planning a different crochet along, but there's plenty of Simply Soft in there for a project all on its own. It's just a case of what. But I will tell you all about that other crochet along that didn't exist. So that's draw 2. So draw number 3. This is all cotton. Well, apart from that. That's Karen's Simply Softer project, so that's just snuck in there. I've got a lot of paint box. So I use paint box for... I use it for several things. I made one of the country garden blankets in that. And of course the Wall of Stitches was made in paint box. So I've got lots of different colours, lots of yarn part balls, and they're all still tangled up. This is all from the Wall of Stitches that I haven't rewound yet. There's lots more balls in there as well. Lots of black that I had left over-ordered on them. And then I've got a few like works in progress in here. So that one is almost finished. There's a matching couple of bits as well in another box for that. This is one I was getting ready to start. Haven't actually started yet, so I'll come back to that at one point. And this is a temperature blanket. I started that a couple of years ago, and then life happened. It's been put to one side, but that's not going to take much to finish. So hopefully I can get to that at some point. Then over here we got the Rico Creative Cotton. So I've got some prints in the blue and the pinky one. Everything else is solids. So this is all Rico Creative. I use this for the 50 stitches. So there's lots of purple and blues in there, because my main blanket was all purples and blues. But I really do like this cotton. So I have used it for like little bits and pieces here and there. And looking, as I was pulling out all these balls, what did I buy all this for? I've clearly done something with it, because there's a lot of part balls in here. I can't put my finger on what. But there's plenty of scrap yarn from Rico Creative Cotton. It's a really nice cotton to use. It's Aran weight, but the prints are really nice as well. And that's drawer 3, so that's just the drawer unit done. Okay, so let's take a peek inside this box. This is an old like chocolate hamper box I got years ago. And this is all my cotton threads. I do love cotton threads. You can do all sorts with them. I made some lace stars with them. But yeah, these were... See, these multicoloured ones I bought for myself. I tried to make a doily out of this one. That went in the bin in the end because it was an absolute nightmare. Ooh, you're not thread. But a lot of this came from a clearance. So the same clearance I got a lot of the sheepies from, the Maxi Sweet Tree, came from. These odd ones here, these were a random thing from someone on a Facebook group, I think. And yeah, there's just really odd balls of cotton. So I need to come back to these. Sweet Tree, I have made a few things with this. I made some heart earrings and a star necklace. So I've got 3 hearts and a 3 star motif pattern, and I made several of those with these. I also made some earrings with this as well. Some twisty spiral earrings. Is that published? I think that is somewhere. But it was really good for making little like jewellery. Back in there for now. So that's all my cotton threads. And here we have the cake box. So these are all the cakes that I found, and I've got all kinds of cakes in here. We've got a Sheepy's World Hiding, Yarn Art Flowers in a couple of shades, Elise Bella, so those two are the same colours, Havana. These two, I think I got in a mystery bag, and I think they're factory ends of Karen... No, oh, the nosy dog's back. Move. That's Karen... No, that's Lime Brand Mandala. That's a Karen. The original Karen cakes. That's something different. but it is in the Karen family, I think. I think that's a hobby cake. Mishka. Honestly, this dog is so nosy. But yeah, all of my cakes are in there, so all different yarns, types, fibres, weights in there. But all different colours. So that's kind of like a treasure trove I can dive into now and again. Dog, stop licking me, please. Let's see if I can get this dog to go and take an interest in something else, and then I'll continue showing you around the yarn. Okay, so big box number 1. I've got a couple of these big boxes. And this one is just filled with Stylescraft Special DK. And that's what the entire box is. And it's not a small box, quite a big one. So I made one of the Ray of Hope blankets out of this. I've also collected it for personal projects. Yeah, there's a lot in here. This absolutely bright thing. I bought that for the Ray of Hope, not realising how bright it was. And then, excuse me, nosy dog. Yeah, when I realised how bright it was, like, yeah, that's not going to suit. So that's gone into the back of a drawer ever since. Yeah, there's a lot of black in there. A lot of leftover yarn from the Ray of Hope. So more than enough yarn in here to get several projects done. It's just a case of what they are. But yeah, loads of different colours of Starcraft Special. Really, the only acrylic yarns I use is the Karen Simply Soft and Starcraft DK. Otherwise, I tend to stick to cotton, although lately I've been using merino as well. But yeah, that's all the Starcraft. Okay, so big box number 2, and this is like the dirty secret. Well, not so secret now. But this is all the part balls, the discontinued yarns, just random yarn, I don't know what it is. It's all stuff. It's like I've only got one ball of that. Who knows what that is? There's a bit of acrylic, but only one ball of each. That's an unknown brand of cotton. I can take a guess, but yeah, DMC Petra. Got one ball of that chenille yarn. Cotton Biosoft. You don't see that much anymore. Kind of difficult to get hold of. That's something random. Bobbiny that's left over. You can't really. That's like macrame thread. But rope. Yeah, a few random balls from the same brand. This is the odds and ends and the really random stuff. And dog, this is not the time for a fuss. But the really random stuff that I don't have enough to make a project with. Or if I do, it's as yarn that's been discontinued or is difficult to find now. And this tub is just as big as the other one. Mishka. She's an attention hound, very needy. So this is the box that's going to go kind of to the back of the pile in the spare room until I get round to maybe a truly scrappy project where I really want to go random. But that's not going to be anytime soon. So we're going to ignore that box for now. Right, so let's dive into this one. So this isn't yarn, it's the whip box. So this is all kind of squares and pieces I have. Some of these came from the Frankenscrap, and then I decided not to use them. Some of these things are projects I started and just didn't do anything else with. I can see why on that one. Too many ends. This is a top I started years ago. Great idea, but it needed the top of it remodelling. I never quite got back round to it. Come back to that at some point. That's part of the whip I showed you in the third drawdown. All kinds of squares and different projects. That's a top. Jumper. And then this. So I was talking about a crochet along that I never published, and this is the big piece that I started. So this is what came before Frankenscrap. So So it was a big flower motif, and this was when I started designing before life went wrong, and I threw this to one side because it just wasn't being dealt with. But I do want to come back to this because I really like how this pattern was starting out. So it's just something a bit different. So I do want to do something with that. It was a really nice big piece, and I need to do something. I need to do something with most of what's in here. There's at least 3 patterns in this box that are just waiting for me to, that are finished and just waiting for me to write them up and get them tested. So that's on my try and do this year. But we shall see. So that's all the whips. So this is kind of like the odds and bits and bobs box. So I've got more bobbiny. Don't think they make this anymore. So this is t-shirt yarn. And they used to make it from like repurposed like factory ends from fabrics. There's some really pretty ones. I don't think they do it anymore. I got leftover organza bags. And then I've just got like sets of yarn in there. That's Signet. I don't really do Signet, but it's a really pretty yarn. I couldn't resist it. Oh, then we've got some bamboo. I bought this years ago because I'm going to make myself a cardigan. And I thought it's a really pretty colour. And I wanted to try bamboo, and it, yeah, never actually starts. So that's that yarn for another day. And then Stylecraft did a colour pooling yarn. I got 3 sets. I did start experimenting with this blue and yellow. And then they discontinued it, which kind of put me off trying to carry on making patterns for it. This thing in here is like a crafting undyed yarn. Really good for making like reusable scrubbies if you want eco-friendly yarn. This is left over from when I used to sell what I make, because I used so much of this. I was almost at the end of one. What do you call big hunks like this? It's a cone. It's a very rectangular cone. So I bought a new one and then I stopped doing it. So it's just sat here ever since. But I have projects in mind for this that will come through at some point. And then we just got my scrap bag. So whenever I get to a point in a project or in a ball of yarn where I just haven't got enough to use it for anything anymore, it goes in that bag. I want to find a project where I could do something with all my ends. So yeah, that's just kind of like the odds and bits box. Okay, so this box is just filled with stuff that I've run out of room for anywhere else. This is an unboxing video I'm waiting to do. That's a really nice cake of yarn. So if you've been following any of my stuff recently, you know I've been doing a lot with Yarn Shop by Stay Alive. And that's my latest cake, so I will unbox that later. This is a yarn dyeing kit I got many moons ago and never actually got around to trying it. But it's yarn dyeing with Kool-Aid, I believe. But yeah, I wanted to give that a go. I never actually got around to it. That's just sitting there waiting. No, that's not there. Yeah, Kool-Aid. We don't really get that here in the UK. So yeah, this was imported from the US. I don't think that they do that anymore. It was like a subscription thing. Then I've got several balls of the James C. Brett Aurora. Really pretty colours. So that's for something for me to figure out on what I'm going to do with. So the last few bits are up on my shelves. So I've got a bit more sheepies up there. That's the sheepies glow up. They did a colour pack with all the different colours. I got that relatively recently because that's fairly new release. So I haven't decided what I'm doing with that yet, but I couldn't resist the chance to work with glow in the dark yarn. So we'll see what I got up to there. I got my wool winder. That's the Knit Pro winder. That's actually pretty good. I wound a whole load of part balls of yarn with that and absolutely no issues. I thought I might because it's mostly plastic, but no, it's done really well. And it's held up too. So it doesn't quite fit back in the box properly once you put it together, but it's still there. Those two cardboard boxes next to it, they're full of pom-poms. So they're from Crafty Bird. And she makes really big, lovely pom-poms. I'll get some out to show you in a second, actually. I've got a little ball of Yarn Shop by Stay Alive yarn there. So that's actually that's a 5-ply. It's got a really nice shimmery thread running through it, actually. Can I reach that easily from here? Oh, just about. You can see the shimmer that's in there. That's a 5-ply that I'm going to make a hat with. It's all nice pinks and purples. But I get to choose my colours from there. So you can do it yourself as well. You can create your own yarns from that shop online. Got my little bits and pieces, all my hooks, my stitch markers, needles for weaving in ends are all in that little bag. That's just really handy. So all just sat in there. Can I reach these to show you the pom-poms? Oh, we'll bring them down here. Hang on. But these are gorgeous pom-poms. I'll show you these. Really big. And they have buttons. So they're like just big buttons you can sew in those bits around the edges. But aren't they absolutely beautiful? You can get ones with like short fur, long fur, really nice crazy fur, all faux fur obviously, all different colours. But yeah, those are my pom-pom collection. I have to keep them high and out of the way because my dog goes bananas for them. And then I've just got some Rowan, what is that? Mako cotton. That is an unusual thing because it's not actually a proper yarn. It's like, it's woven. It's actually like a ribbon. It's really smooth and really lovely texture, but very unusual. And I'm doing something with that at the minute, though that's out because I'm using it. Oh, and that card is, I got a little discount card from Yarnalicious. They're who I bought the sheepies glow up from. So that's just there for future use. And that's the shelves. So this is the final thing of yarn that I've got. And it's all still packed in the Lovecraft bags. I ordered this a couple of months ago because I have a brand new project in mind. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It is cotton. It is the big things that I'm known for. I have a new design in mind, but I'm not going to show you any more. You're just going to have to keep following to find out more. And if you want to be the first to know when this project starts to get shown about, then sign up to our newsletter. The link is beneath the video, or you can click on subscribe and it'll be here as well.
So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time for the next video. Bye for now.